Our next speaker is Mdm Mariam Isnin, and she has been working with pupils in a primary school for more than 30 years. She's passionate in the areas of pastoral care and special needs, and has worked with pupils who are at risk as well as underachieving. She became a school counselor in 2007 and was very involved in social and emotional learning. Currently, Mdm Mariam is a senior school counselor in Bukit Timah Primary School. Now, welcome to the brunch, Mdm Mariam. I understand that you used to be a teacher before you became a counselor as well.
Yes,
so I'm sure you've seen so many different kinds of scenarios and cases and students. So I'm very excited to have you share with us today.
Thank you.
And so I understand that you will also be sharing resources from MOE?
Yes, I'll be sharing some resources which parents can tap on.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that the parents also understand and know that these resources will also be shared with you after the session, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, so great. So Mdm Maria, please, we would love to hear your thoughts on common stress symptoms in students that can affect overall mental health. Mdm Mariam, please.
Thank you. Right. Good morning, parents and students. Today, I'll be talking about common symptoms of stress in students that can affect overall mental health. Previously, you heard Dr. Bibi. She did explain this overview of mental health. So how do I see mental health? To me, mental health refers to your well-being, having that positive quality of life, and functioning well in school, right, at home, and also the community. So these symptoms of stress, or how do we see stress? So what is stress? Stress, if you look at the word itself, it has many negative effects on us. It doesn't look good, this word stress. But stress can be good too. I will unpack a bit more in my next slide. Right, this is the stress curve. Right, it shows the relationship between your performance to your stress level. And if you can see, there are 4 zones. But before I go into the 4 different zones, I want to highlight that performance does not just refer to academic performance, it refers to many other areas. Okay, let us go to the first zone, the blue zone. Right, this is under too little stress. Right? When you are laid back, you're inactive, usually you are not productive, you're not motivated to achieve your targets, definitely your performance will be affected. So parents, be mindful. If you notice that your child is not doing the task assigned to him, and he needs constant reminders, do check in with him. Try to understand what your child is going through, his challenges. Give him time, right, to explain to you. Right, it's very important to listen to your child, and hopefully you'll be able to encourage your child to function better and to achieve his potential. Right, we go to the green zone, and that is the optimum stress. When you are in this zone, you are motivated, you are focused, you will definitely achieve the targets that you have set for, and your performance will definitely be maximized. And usually we tend to neglect ourselves when we are in the green zone. So I hope parents, if you notice that your children are functioning well, do take note of their self-care. Make sure they have enough sleep and rest. They do regular exercise. Your children have balanced meals, and they do have time to spend with families and also their friends. So I hope you can support them in these ways, and we do not want them to actually move to the orange zone. Now, if you look closely at the curve, at the top of the green zone, you can see the word fatigue. So when the stress level is too much to handle, it becomes bad stress. So fatigue, exhaustion will come along, and your child's performance will definitely be affected. So parents, I want you to look out for some signs of distress that your child may be experiencing. For example, stomach upset, frequent headaches. Sometimes we see outbursts of anger in children and also frequent arguments, right? Not very involved in their daily routines and activities. So I hope parents, you can look out for these signs and help your child to manage his mental well-being. Now, when your child is in the red zone, that's when your child will not be able to manage, right, the prolonged stress that your child is having. So I want parents to really give support to your child. In school, actually, we have many resources that parents can tap on. So if you observe that your child is really in the red zone, what you can do is do call the school teachers, right? Talk to them. And usually, what the teachers will do is they will highlight the case to the school counselor, and with your consent, right? We will always get consent from parents, not to worry. So with your consent, the school will get your child to see the school counselor, and hopefully, right, your child's well-being will be supported. So I hope parents do reach out to the resources that we have in school. Okay, let us recognize some stress symptoms that we have in children. Okay, parents, you can use this list to check on your child's stress level. Right, so what does stress stand for? S, struggles to pay attention in studies or activities. Your child will be not focused, poor concentration. If you notice this shift, do be mindful, right? Pay more attention to your child. Tiredness, right? Rebellious streak. Suddenly your child starts to show anxiety, not willing to receive feedback, positive feedback from you, starts to talk back at you and so on. So be mindful. E, excuses to miss school, right? The school tendencies, school refusal tendencies will come along. So please watch out for this symptom too. Now, stays away from others. He rather be alone than to join family activities or even with peers, right? Sulkiness, this is a negative emotion. You can also see sadness and fear in your child. So I hope parents, you will really look into your child's emotions and expectations. Always remember that when your child is having issues, do not just focus on his performance, right? Accept him as this special individual, okay? You need to show care and concern, like what Dr. Bibi mentioned earlier on, right? Communication is very important, right? Do try to understand what he is going through, and hopefully you can support the child better. Normally, as parents, we equate performance as something that the child is good at. For example, if the child is having a good performance, he's having good self-worth, he thinks highly of himself. Usually, children will see performance, right, as something that will enhance their self-worth. But when they see failure, that's when they actually experience negative self-worth. And that's when you have to come in to support their mental well-being. Giving our children the space to grow by providing adequate challenge and high support. How do we do this? We have this resilience fostering interactions, space. We advocate parents to use this. What does SPACE stand for? S, support. P, problem solve. A, affirm. C, cheer. And E, empower. Let me use a case to demonstrate SPACE. Previously, I had this P4 girl. Let me call her Sally. Right? She is overly worried and anxious. She's very emotionally down. Whenever she stepped into the school building, she'll be in tears. And we could see that she was not functioning well in school and even at home. She decided to distance herself from her family members. She kept to herself in her room, and communication was very minimal. right? And her parents got worried because she reduced the contact that she had with her parents and also her brother. So what her mother did was to contact me, and we had a good conversation. Basically, we used the resilience fostering interactions to understand what Sally is going through. So mom became more empathetic, right? She empathized more with Sally's challenges. She started to provide positive feedback, right? She's more willing to listen, and they sat down to look at the problems together. Mom even actually took on a part-time job to support Sally after school. So they spent time together. Communication was definitely better. And we could see that Sally was happier and functioning better in school. So I hope parents remember this word space and use this to build resilience in your children. Dr. Bibi Jan did highlight on building resilience in the children. And I think it's very, very important to have these interactions with your children. So I hope parents, you can get help or even get advice from the school counselors or even other mental health professionals, because help-seeking behavior, I think, is very crucial. When you see someone within the family having a mental health issue. And let me reiterate this point that help-seeking is a sign of courage and strength and not a weakness, even for the students too. Okay, you can actually get help from your school counselors, right? I hope you're not shy to reach out for all this help that is available for all of you. Sharing some additional community helplines that you can tap on, right? I hope some of you have heard of Tinkle Friend. Some students would have seen speakers from Tinkle Friend, conducting sessions, right? Talks for you in school. And for parents, Samaritans of Singapore, in short SOS, right? You can actually call the direct line or even chat online, okay? I will be sharing some resources that MOE has. You can use the QR code provided. This collection of resources for parents, right, on providing social and emotional support for your child, they're very useful. And I hope parents, you can sit down with your child to go through some of these good resources when you're supporting your child's mental well-being, okay? You will also have some useful tips on how to raise resilient children, okay? And tips on how to set goals with your children, how to raise confident children. So I hope parents, right, use a QR code at the end of this session and go through the resources. And these are other resources like Resilience Booster, Understanding Resilience. These are all very useful resources, and please go through them when you have the time. Right, before I end, parents, I wish you all the best. I know parenting is not easy, right? Bibi Chan did mention that she has 6 children. I have 6 children too. And my journey has been very meaningful and fruitful. And I hope you can nurture your children to the best of their potential. And for students too, right? Do reach out to get help from your teachers and your school counselors. Do not journey in your struggles alone, right? I want you to share your challenges with your parents, okay? And at the same time, enjoy your learning. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Madam Mariam. I think that those are such important pointers to call out. The fact that you don't have to be alone in your journey, that there's an entire network of support and resources that you can leverage on, and that help seeking is truly a sign of courage, in that you are willing to be humble and grow and learn and be a better person. And this concept of resilience is so important, right? Because this ability to thrive and face adversity is, especially with today's current context of the differences with social media use, with pandemic, and all different challenges, resilience is such an important skill to build. And I truly do believe, even as an adult, I also have my mental health struggles, and so I have an entire support network. I see a therapist, I have a psychiatrist, I have a group of friends and family who know how to support me. And so I would always really encourage parents that you don't have to be alone in your journey. And students themselves, there's so much support out there. Find adults that you can trust, be your teachers, counselors, parents, and you don't have to be alone. We get to go through this together and be better.